You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Menkels.
Through happenstance and not intent, we've had very little wrestling coverage so far on the Central Indiana Sports Report. We plan on rectifying that very soon. Of course, we will cover the big events like conference meets and the IHSAA postseason. We also hope to bring you updates from several of our local wrestling, swimming, bowling, and gymnastics teams. And that's what we have for you today. Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune spoke with Tri-Central head coach Josh Mason about his boys and girls programs following Thursday's boys and girls sweep of Southern Wells. Michelle and Josh talk about the boys and girls program, and they discuss the benefits of allowing girls to wrestle for the first time.
Coach Mason, a nice quick night tonight.
Yeah, didn't quite go as we expected. We had some losses from the younger kids that we thought we could win with, but overall, really good performance.
And the guys that I'm guessing the older guys that you would expect to win, and especially maybe carry you early, they did that tonight.
Yes, yeah, they came out, attacked, got their takedowns, got them some mat time, but I can always count on those upperclassmen to do their job.
Yeah, and I think you had a few wrestlers tonight just kind of, I call it playing around, working on takedowns, because to make something instead of coming out and getting a pin in 10 to 20 seconds, let's work a few moves.
Yep. You got to get mat time. You get deeper in the tournament series, and you're not going to have it easy like that. So you got to make sure you build your gas tank somehow.
So now you're off until you wrestle a dual match with
on the
Lewis
10th.
Cass on the 10th, and then an invitational. Tell me, when you're like that, some of those breaks, is it hard for kids weight-wise?
Yes. We got a handful of kids that they're struggling with their weight. I would rather it be closer, not such a gap.
Stay pretty healthy so far?
Oh yeah, our whole team they're all really healthy. Everybody feels good, no injuries. Well, my 138 has a concussion, but he'll be released by the Clinton Prairie invite.
And how about the girls? Your girls are, I think, for the first official season for girls wrestling, they've been doing pretty well.
They're pretty phenomenal to watch wrestle and to be around. It's a good group of girls, eager to learn. I think I have less problems out of them in the room than I do the boys.
So, and are they in an invitational this weekend?
Yes, they'll be at Peru this weekend.
Okay. So, how do you see the development of them? Of course, Michaela Phillips has been wrestling for a while.
She's been wrestling for probably 10 plus years now, and very solid wrestler. She is a state-ranked wrestler that is a well-deserved state-ranked wrestler. She puts in a lot of hard work, a lot of time. But my younger girls, my two new ones, I got Lainey and Emma, and man, they're going to be great. They really are.
Have you had any feedback from parents not wanting their daughters to wrestle? Girls that maybe are interested and parents say no?
Yes. I actually just had a girl tell me today that she wanted to wrestle really bad, but her parents were against it.
You know, I'd heard that from Tipton's from Jeremy, and you know, what would you? Here, I'm gonna let you, because this will go on or for our podcast too. What would you tell parents that the advantages are to their daughters to wrestle? I personally think, since it's girls wrestling is now a sanctioned sport, I could get it maybe when you didn't want them wrestling a male, but now that they're wrestling females, I'm not so sure what the overall
the holdback is.
Yes.
I guess I don't really understand the holdback either. There's nothing any more dangerous about wrestling than basketball, right? It's girls versus girls. The weight class is they're very monitored, so you don't have kids cutting a lot of weight. They're not in any danger, and it just teaches them a lot about themselves, right? Because they're wrestling for themselves. Sure, it's a team aspect, but your team don't go out on the mat with you. It's just her. and she's learning a lot about who she is. Confidence, own self-respect, right? Determination, learning her grit.
Well, and the thing is, too, I don't think your child, especially right now with the wrestling being like it is new for females, that I don't, it's not always necessarily have to worry about, like, if it's my child, a great athlete, because everybody, for the most part, I mean, at least 70% of the female wrestlers out there in the state this year, it's all kind of a brand new experience. They have not been wrestling for a long time. Obviously, you have the Michaela Philippies. You have some that maybe have had brothers that have wrestled or dads that have coached, so they've gotten into it. But the majority of kids haven't really spent a lot of years wrestling.
That's exactly right. You got a handful out there that wrestle phenomenal, right? They're state level girls, but there's way more that are not state level because it's brand new. And girls don't know about it unless their brother or their dad or, somebody like that was a wrestler. They're all new to it. Take my heavyweight, for example. This is her third season. She's been state ranked for the last 2 years. I mean, she just picked up that fast, and she's new, really. In the wrestling world, she's a rookie. But she's already accomplished so much.
And I personally, when I watched Michaela last year. I watched, the girl from Frankton and everything, and
which used to be a Tri-Central wrestler,
yes,
by the way, for the record.
Yes. So, but I mean, and I watched her, just take she actually won her boys match against the boy from Noblesville. But watching them, and if you watch a female wrestler wrestle a female, which you've seen that some, even in the boys, because the lower weight classes, especially all times, you would see two females. I've never seen the torque on the body that you might see when you have two males wrestling. So I've always thought, watching the girls, I've never held my breath like sometimes you do with the boys.
They are way more flexible than the guys, I will definitely say that. I've seen them in situations like, oh man, that really looks like it's painful, and they're like, no, it didn't hurt at all.
And they don't seem to throw as much as what the boys do either.
No, you see a lot of shooting, a lot of takedowns, no headlocks, big throws, no big point moves.
So I guess now maybe a start would be to try to get younger kids perhaps wrestling, or maybe now that it's an HSA sport, maybe schools ought to start looking at installing introductions into physical education classes.
I agree with that.
2-week unit or something like that, where they're teaching the basic moves and everything, so parents can see that,
I think if I was a teacher here at school, I think I would have more girls interested, because a lot of girls, they're scared because they don't know, right? They don't understand it. They may have seen a boys match and maybe that looked brutal to them. But again, the girls are all new to this sport. The girls that we do have, my younger two girls, they didn't want to join this year because they thought wrestling was they had to wrestle Michaela Philippi every day. So they were scared to death to come in the room. Once I talked to them and assured them, you have your own weight class. You're wrestling girls your size. You're not wrestling her. They was like, oh, okay, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. Now they love it. Now they wish they would have started at Michaela's early ages. And that's usually the case with boys and girls. Once they get in the room and actually see the atmosphere and what it's teaching you about yourself, it's not just about being an athlete. You're learning all kinds of lessons in a wrestling room. Speak of the devil. There's Jaden's mom. Every kid that I've ever had that started late in life, late in their school careers, have loved it and regretted not doing it several years before, right? I've never had one kid say, no, this is awful, I'm out of here. Not one.
Thank you so much to Michelle for doing the interview, and of course to Coach Mason. Good luck to him and his Trojans this year, and we hope to hear more from them throughout the year. And thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow the Central Indiana Sports Report so you don't miss a single segment. We are on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and now we are at YouTube. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report and you will find all of our segments streaming right there. We're growing fast. We hope to grow even faster. So please tell a friend. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. I love Susie.